Okay, now I want to make my buildings, and I'm going to have two buildings. Either you take and either you make one project for each building, but if you were that lucky that it was the same building which were placed on each side of the harbor, then you could just have only one file, and one file could have two positionings inside it. And for the demonstration of this, I will do that. But in your case, you would most likely have a file or a project for this position, and you will have another project for this position. So only for this purpose of training this, we will do it in one building. So new building template again, and I'll go to my level 1. This time, this is also the 0.0 in this project. And we must be sure that this is a project, or this position can be found anytime we need it. So this is the 0.0, and I will say that you should put in a cross where you have A1 as the grid, marking that position. So I'll change this to an A and 1. If you would prefer that letters goes in this direction instead of this vertical direction, then I don't care. But it's a convention that A1 is the starting position. Whether you take number the one direction or letters the one direction, that's not the issue here. Okay, for this I will just make some kind of width of the building, and it could be 20 meters. It's not important. And the same goes in the other direction. That could be 25 meters, just for this training purpose. And position them. You can see here, since I wrote letters last time, all other grids I made, they would be letters. So now I need to change this manually to the 2 in the number direction, and in the letter direction I don't want a C but a B. So it is smart if you make one direction, finish one direction at the time, so letters first or numbers first, and then letters and numbers in the other direction. This is my position, and now I will put walls, and we could say that we want the walls on the interior side or something else. So I'm going finish in face interior, and I will place my building here. This is my architectural model, so I will save it as such and say it is my building as the architecture. Naming conventions and all that kind of stuff, please read that elsewhere. So now this is saved. I will close this model, and in my site model now I will go to insert, and I will want to link this Revit model, and I will take the architectural model. For now I don't have a shared coordinate because it's not given yet, so I could go by origin. That's it really doesn't matter how I put it in, as long as I can find it. So now it is set up here, and now I'll take this model and I will move it, and I think I will have it placed aligned to this. So I will align, and then I will move it, and I could put in a dimension and say that the building should be 15 meters away. So I put here 15 meters, and there I have positioned now the building. How do I then know how this building actually is positioned according to this System 34? If you click here, you can see that the site now says that it is not shared. So I want to share it. So set shared, and then either I can acquire coordinates from the model, or I can publish the shared coordinates from this model. This is actually what I'm going to do. So now this model here is positioned, and it says it as internal. I will going to make 2 copies of this building, so I will rename this as the position 1. And then I will take this, I can just copy this one and put it on the other side of the harbor. I will align this one to the edge here. I'll put in another dimension. And let's set that 10 meters. So this one is not shared. I'll go to share, but it says that building 1 is in use. Yeah, let's change that and duplicate this and make a building 2 position. So I'll take the building 2 position. Okay, so now I have the same building but with 2 positions. So let's go save this model. Now it went back and say that you need to save the current positions in the model for the buildings. Yeah, let's do that. And then I'm going to close this side model, because if those here are linked into this side model, you cannot open them individually. So I need to save it, close it, and then I'm going to open this building model. Well, it looks almost as it did before, so what's the difference? Let's try to look here. If you reveal those hidden elements and we point at this project base point, you will see that it is not 0.0 anymore. It is actually according to this world coordinate, or not world coordinate, but system 34 coordinate. And if you go and zoom extend, then you can see that the 0.0 is placed lower here in the lower right corner. Let's take that out again, and now we can see that this is placed right. If we go to the side now, and we at the side say that we want true north, then it will change the direction. So now this is actually the true north, and we know that it is also the right position. What about the other building? Well, you go into manage, into locations, go to site, and there you find your building 2. Make that current. When I press OK now, try to see what happens. So this is the position 2. It might be more difficult to check, but this position was also changed. So now we have the correct system 34 sealant position now for this building also. Okay then, how is this then working if we are going to make another model like the structure model then? And the structure model will be in another file. Let's make that. We close this file, which is the architectural model. We start up the building template, and this is the same position. So let's now insert and link this model in and take the architecture, and we can let it be on origin to origin, because we want to be sure that the same 0.0, the internal 0.0, is the same in each of the files which we are going to use for the different buildings, or if it is the same building, then it is this 0.0. So now it is positioned. Now, if we want to use those things here, we can actually copy monitor them. We can also make another project where we have the grid lines, or whatever kind of method you want to use. For this one, I will try to demonstrate how we can use the copy monitor function. So I'll point at this, and I will go to this collaborate environment, and now I want to use this link, and now I can point at this copy and say that I would like to copy this, and I would like to copy this and this and this, so all the grid lines. Now the grid lines are copied from my architectural model into my structure model, so I know that they for sure are they going to monitor each other. So, but be careful, don't monitor everything in a model, then it will be very heavy to open the different discipline models, and then you will have more problems than you will gain help. So do only copy monitor things which are needed. So we finish here. Now I can unload this one if I want to do that. So I can go back to insert, go to manage links, and I can unload it, let it be inside the model, don't remove it, but just unload it. And then you have your monitored grid lines here. Let's try to put in some structures. I will take a column here, and remember, when you work with structure elements, they always work from the level and below if you don't do anything else. Standard is that you work from the level and downwards and not upwards like you do in the architecture model. So I will change this and say that it should go in the height and it should go to level 2. Now I would like to position, and they will put them in the crosshair, so it is in the middle, but I know that my walls is outside here, so for this testing purpose I will just put them in here. Let's put in more columns, so, and align them to the edge for this, so you can see how this works. I don't lock it or constrain it with this lock here. Locks are very, very good and very important to use, but be careful not to over constrain anything. So I don't do it for this testing purpose. Okay, let's save this as the building structure.